You've got a killer investment strategy, a track record you're proud of, and a group chat full of people who trust you. So why does asking them for money feel like defusing a bomb? Because it absolutely is. And one wrong wire, and you're not just losing capital, you're losing your cousin at Thanksgiving. Let's talk about what's really going on here. Because the moment you cross from, hey, I have a great idea, to, hey, give me $50,000, the entire emotional architecture of that relationship shifts underneath you. Money has a way of turning your most loyal supporters into your most anxious auditors. And that's not a character flaw. That's just human psychology doing its job. The catalyst for most of these disasters isn't greed or bad intentions. It's a lack of structure dressed up as trust. When you skip the paperwork because we're family, you're not building on a foundation of love, you're building on a foundation of assumptions. And assumptions compound negatively, just like interest. Think of it this way. A hedge-style strategy without a formal capital raise is like performing surgery in your kitchen. Your skills might be real, but the environment makes everyone uncomfortable, and the liability is terrifying. The irony is that adding formality doesn't make things colder. It actually makes people more confident, because structure signals seriousness. Now here's where the optimism gets a reality check. Most people who've tried to raise money from their network informally report that the first conversation goes great and the sixth one nearly ends a friendship. The psychological weight of watching someone you love stress over a drawdown period, even a temporary one, is something no projected IRR can prepare you for. History is littered with brilliant operators who raise from friends and family without documentation and live to regret it, not because the strategy failed, but because a 30% drawdown in month 4 turned a dinner table into a deposition. Ray Dalio himself has talked about the importance of radical transparency in investor relationships. And he wasn't speaking metaphorically when he said most investing failures are people failures. So what's the move? You formalize it not to be corporate, but to be kind. An operating agreement, a private placement memorandum, or even a simple investor letter with defined terms, risk disclosures, and lockup periods turns a favor into a transaction, and transactions have rules that protect everyone involved. The misconception most people carry is that asking for paperwork implies distrust. But the opposite is true. The people who skip documentation are the ones who end up in disputes, while the ones who said, sign here, are the ones still at the barbecue 5 years later. You're not creating distance by being professional, you're creating safety. Here's your practical playbook. Only raise from people who can genuinely afford to lose the entire amount without a lifestyle change. Have that conversation explicitly before anything else, and only then move to structure. Position sizing matters for your portfolio, but it matters just as much for your relationships. No single friend or family member should represent more than 10 to 15% of your raise, because concentration risk in capital is bad enough, but concentration risk in social capital is catastrophic. Set expectations aggressively on the downside, not the upside. Tell them your strategy could be flat for 18 months. Tell them there will be drawdowns. Tell them the timeline for liquidity, and watch who's still nodding, because those are your real investors. The ones who light up only when you mention returns are the ones who will call you at midnight during a volatile week. Here's the philosophical truth underneath all of this. The best hedge fund managers in the world aren't the ones with the highest Sharpe ratios. They're the ones who maintain investor trust through full cycles. Discipline in how you raise capital is just a mirror of discipline in how you deploy it. The market will test your strategy, but your friends will test your character. What you're really building when you raise from your network isn't just a fund, it's a reputation that compounds or decays with every interaction, every update letter, every honest conversation about a bad month. The process, the communication cadence, the transparency that's the product, and the returns are just the proof of concept. Comfort with any outcome starts before the first dollar is raised. It starts when you've documented everything, disclosed everything, and given every investor a rational reason to be in or stay out. If your strategy works, they win and you win. If it struggles temporarily, the structure you built is the reason you both survive it intact. Ultimately, the size of your raise matters far less than the quality of your process. And the quality of your process is what earns you the right to raise more later. Consistency, structure, and emotional discipline aren't just investing virtues, they're relationship virtues. And in a friends and family raise, you need both firing at the same time. Whether you're ready to put a structure around your first raise, need real estate capital partners, or want to connect with lenders who understand alternative strategies, check out our links in the description below and let's help you get started the right way.